Over the past few years, a lot of media attention has been paid to the rise in officer-involved shootings, and many questions have arisen. Why not use pepper spray or stun guns? Why shoot to kill? With a report you'll only see on WVVA, our James McDowell went to the West Virginia State Police Academy and Institute so we could learn firsthand the answers to some of those questions.
Mere seconds, sometimes less, is all law enforcement officers have to react to the actions of a suspect. Last year, 963 civilians were killed by police, according to statistics provided by the government. Of those, only 48 suspects were unarmed. Upon arrival at the academy, I was given a gun belt with all the tools a state trooper has at their disposal. First Sergeant Rob Petrie and Trooper First Class Jamie Barker walked me through the usage of each implement before my edged weapon attack training was to begin. Sergeant Petrie then demonstrated the knife the suspect would be using. The knife didn't have a real blade, but the electrodes in it simulated the feeling of being stabbed or slashed.
Don't hit me. Keep them to your chest. You ready? Ah, nice.
My task was to stop a charging suspect, played by First Sergeant Bob Mefford, using the tools on my belt before he could reach me with his shock knife. Sounds simple, right? To say I was feeling the pressure would be an understatement. In the first scenario, I completely missed my moving target, shooting the wall. In scenario 2, I tried using the pepper spray, which the suspect easily ducked. In scenario 3, improvement. I was able to hit the charging suspect 3 times, though none of the wounds would have been immediately fatal. And for those keeping score, my failures resulted in slashes from the shock knife each time. Lieutenant Michael Bayless explains how the scenarios translate to real-life situations.
They are responding to resistance or aggression. Reality in life is not like the movies. You don't know who this person is you're dealing with for the most part or what's going on in their mind. You can't call a timeout. You have to deal with it as it's going on right there at that time. What we want them to do is revert back to that training experience and stop the threat so that they don't get hurt or someone else doesn't get hurt as a result of that.
VRTRA is a simulation in which cadets are surrounded by a 300-degree video screen. In this exercise, a potentially armed suspect, or perhaps an unarmed onlooker, suddenly appears. My stress level raised, I had to quickly decide, is this person a threat? I proceeded cautiously, perhaps too cautiously. I was often shot before returning fire myself. Sergeant Jim Mitchell is head of the chaplaincy program for the state police. He says law enforcement officers are real human beings, just like everybody else. But their duties can be unlike anything else.
When we go to work, we are living in a state of hypervigilance. We are constantly on guard, constantly looking. I've not met one that enjoys having to use that kind of force, but they do well knowing that they did a good job.
Here for you at the West Virginia State Police Academy, I'm James McDowell, WVVA News.
The trainers at the academy put James through one last scenario where he was able to talk the suspect down and place him under arrest without a shot being fired. Every trooper we spoke with says they wish all encounters could end peacefully like that scenario did.